Welcome to another faith note for today. In Psalm 118, the writer proclaims boldly, "This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Give thanks to the Lord, for the Lord is good. The faithful love of the Lord endures forever." On good days, it's easy to make that pronouncement and rejoice. I was privileged to walk in the Susan G. Komen 3-day walk for the cure in Minneapolis about 6, 7 years ago. I walked with my wife and another woman. We made up a team of 3 from southern Indiana. The 60-mile walk was a fundraiser held over a single weekend. We averaged 20 miles per day, each day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I made it through the first day with little difficulty. I developed a small blister on one foot that I had treated at the end of the first day. I headed out Saturday morning determined to do it all over again. Saturday, however, was a much different story for me. The small blister developed into a huge blister. As we walked Saturday afternoon, it began to rain, and with the rain came pain. It was pretty intense. Each step reminded me that I was in trouble. I should have stopped, but I was determined to finish the day no matter what it cost. To think about something other than my foot, our group began to talk about favorites. What do you prefer, for example, cake or pie? And if it's pie, what kind? Is it a fruit pie or a cream pie? If cake, what kind is your favorite cake? And what kind of icing has to be on it? What kinds of movies do you like to watch? Romance or action? Western or mystery? Science fiction or historical? It was an exercise of sharing favorites in a host of categories that was able to shift my mind off of my foot. I made it the full 23 miles the second day, but that was the end of my participation in that weekend, that year. What about your favorites? What kinds of things do you enjoy? Do you have your devotions, for example, in the morning or the evening? Do you prefer King James or a different translation? Do you prefer the Old Testament over the New Testament? Who is your favorite biblical character? Which disciple do you admire? What's your favorite New Testament parable? What's your favorite Bible passage? I don't presume to tell, or won't presume to tell you what you should do in challenging times. God speaks to each one of us in ways that are unique to our place in life. The challenge is to remain open and find ways to rejoice and to celebrate even when life is not as we had hoped. Despite the disappointment in not being able to participate in the Komen Walk on Sunday, it was still a worthwhile weekend. I was able to encourage a woman who was deeply disappointed that she could not continue and wasn't able to walk the whole distance. I was able to encourage her in a way that allowed her to finish strong. It was a painful Saturday, but as I look back over the weekend, it was a good and worthwhile experience. There was reason to give thanks despite the pain. For the record, my favorite movie is Jeremiah Johnson. I prefer fruit pies over cake, and my favorite scripture passage is Psalm 139. And I do love stories in the Old Testament. Thanks for watching another Faith Note. I'll be back again on Friday with another Faith Note. Until then, be encouraged by these words from Deuteronomy 31. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. The Lord will be with you. The Lord will neither fail you nor abandon you. Amen.